John Carter voiceovers.
Word, we're back in effect for the 2-2. That doesn't sound right. Back in the day, me and a friend used to make rap music, and you say you're in effect for the 8-7 or the 9-tray, but in effect for the 2-2, which is obviously the year. It doesn't quite have the same ring to it. Anyway, I guess you just have to let some things go. It's John Carter from John Carter Voiceovers in Megahertz Studios in Charlotte, North Kakalaki, where we never dress tacky. That statement is not completely true. But anyway, we're back on episode number 2 of the podcast, just hanging in the studio. It's a mini podcast, you know what I'm saying? By the way, that makes me think about, did you ever see that old flea market commercial? It was Montgomery Flea Market, where the guy came out and danced and sang and rapped in his own commercial. When I said it's a mini podcast, it made me think about that, because he'd come out and go, Montgomery Flea Market, it like a mini mall. Montgomery Flea Market. And they actually did a parody of that on the TV show Family Guy. Of course, they parody everything on that TV show, that animated series, which I freaking love. But they did a parody of the actual Montgomery Flea Market spot. If you've never seen that, I guess it would now qualify as like a vintage YouTube bit now, because it's so old. I think the place went out of business actually too. I actually read up on it a while back. But that commercial was brilliant, and it went viral online. It was super low budget, funny, local personality. The dude dancing had these big old eyes, and he's wearing a suit and kind of dancing around. It's kind of awkward and funny. Great spot. But anyway, this is the John Carter mini podcast. It like a mini podcast, you know what I'm saying? Basically, where I just take a break from working on voiceovers and production and, doing the daily business routine and just chat about a few topics. One topic I was just thinking about that just kind of popped in my head a minute ago. I like to keep the TV show Friends kind of streaming in the background in the office some days, and have a little Bose Bluetooth speaker in there, or have it turned on and connected and kind of have it on the background. Are there any TV shows, old or new, that you like to have on kind of just as almost like white noise? You know what I'm saying? Like where it's just always on, and it just is comforting to have that on. It's kind of like you're hanging out with your buddies or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm kind of that way with, I'm very much that way with Friends. That show to me is I would probably put that above Seinfeld as far as comedic sitcoms. Seinfeld was brilliant, and I love that show, but I think I would put Friends above that. I think that's where it would go. Seinfeld, though, brilliant show and widely known as the greatest comedy sitcom ever made, and rightfully so, but I do think that's a debatable topic, but we'll save that for another day. But anyway, do you have any shows you like to have on just kind of in the background, like when you're cooking or hanging out at your house or working in the office if you're working home? Another show that I like, and I haven't really been into it as much lately, is Entourage. That show is totally politically incorrect, crazy, it's kind of like the male version of Sex and the City, but it takes place in Los Angeles, where these dudes move out there, and one guy's or two of them are actors and trying to make it in Hollywood, and it's just crazy plot-wise and politically incorrect, highly offensive stuff, but still a brilliantly done TV show. It's also kind of mind-blowing how politically incorrect the show was. It was on from 2004 to 2011, and then they did the Entourage movie as kind of the grand finale, I guess, of the whole thing. But nowadays is not that far off from 2011. That was only 11 years ago. They would not make that show. So it's mind-blowing how things have changed. But anyway, do you have a show like that? If so, comment and let me know. Comment in the section below. I hate it when people say that in YouTube videos. Like we don't know how to do that. Like, do I need you to give me instructions on how to smash the subscribe button? By the way, it's not even a physical button. You can't even smash it. What's the deal with that? Said Jerry Seinfeld. Anyway, this has been the JCVO mini podcast. I call it a mini podcast for a reason, because it's teeny tiny compared to these big old hour-long, 2-hour-long Joe Rogan, whoever podcasts, where they just talk for hours. And I actually do love some of those podcasts, so they're wonderful. But anyway, thanks a lot for tuning into the JCVO mini podcast. Hope you have a fantastic day. We'll be back again soon with more mini podcast content for your listening pleasure. This is JCVO, and I'm out of here. Peace!
JC!